Welcome back everyone to It's Not Easy Being Green Screen, and here we are with an alternative software non-classic Combat Zone Mentor, or both, or just Combat Zone, I don't know. It's a shoot 'em up, and it's a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up in a strange, just done really strangely, developed by the firm. This is an odd sort of novelty. It kind of has sort of like reminds you of Xenon to a degree, maybe Xevious, actually closer to Xevious than Xenon, but it's odd because you're sort of viewing through this weird scope where you've got these vertical lines that are across the game screen. Notice that the game screen is also extremely small. And it doesn't seem to improve the game that much either. It's still rather slow, rather monotonous. Lots of sprites going on. I've got to give it that. There's lots of movement going on screen. Maybe a bit too much. You don't know what you're doing. You've got a target that you can see. You can drop your bombs on for dropping on enemies that are on the ground. And of course skybound enemies as well with your basic forward firing lasers or shooters or whatever they are. Power-ups seem to be rather scarce in this game, as does energy. You've got to keep your energy up, essentially. Keep going, shooting everything, keep your battery power up, keep your life and fuel up, your fuel gauge, and you eventually might get to the end. And it's just taxing on the eyes at the best of times, because you've got this really weird sort of like view through a monitor screen. It's almost like you're sitting in a computer room looking through a monitor screen and not actually experiencing the game. It's odd, and I've just died there. So it's difficult to see in colour. So God knows what it's going to look like in green. It's nice and bright. It's nice and garish. I'll give it that. So anyway, I've paused the game. Let's switch to green. See what happens in this very straight. Oh my God. Oh my word. I can't see a lot. Now in colour, you can't really see the bullets. In green, the bullets have kind of... they're there. I can certainly see them. In fact, weirdly, I can see the bullets clearer in the green than I can in the colour. That's an odd side effect. Of course, you can't see any of the darker colours. That's just very dark and lots of shading going on there. Too dark, can't see hardly anything. I notice how some of the sprites, of course, losing some of their colour as they go over like shades of green in the background as well. That's distracting. Yes, it doesn't really improve the game, does it? I guess you can see the bullets clearer. I can't really make out the sprites that clear still. It's just a jumble of stuff going on. See, all the clashes with the shades of green are just a bit too much for the eye. Like I said, it's one of those games where you knew it was going to be a bit dodgy because it was dodgy in colour, let alone in green. HUD at the side, still readable, not so much. I mean, it really loses any kind of charm that it had in the first place, which wasn't a lot. Certainly lost without the colour. A lot of these sprites just blended into the background. I don't even know what I'm shooting. It's really difficult to sort of understand what you're actually going for. And it's also so distracting with these great big horizontal bars going across the screen. It's just a strange thing to do. I have no idea why they did that. The only way I can guess that they're trying to do is to sort of like make sure it doesn't get lost to speed. But the thing is, this doesn't have any music. It has very basic sound effects. Very basic sound effects. And some of the sound effects are actually reminiscent. Some of the sound effects lifted from R-Type, I believe. That's what it sounds like anyway. It certainly sounds like the beam sound. It sounds straight from R-Type. That would be the Keith Goodyear version of R-Type, of course, on the Amstrad. And it's just a plodding shoot 'em up. And you know, Xevious on the Amstrad isn't brilliant. It isn't a brilliant arcade conversion. Neither is, well, Xenon's actually not too bad. But both of them make this. Well, both of them are actually masterpieces compared to this Combat Zone. Has the makings of something interesting. It certainly does. Lots of sprites, lots of action going on, but it's just so distracting, so monotonous. Just feels dull. And when you stick it in green, it just makes it infuriating. Maybe I should stick with it for a bit more and find out what the hell's going on half the time. There's nothing really to separate it. But anyway, here's the loading screen in green. Why not? Novabug, out. Hey, Novabug here. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please support the channel by liking and commenting, and of course subscribing if you haven't already done. If you would like to support me further, please consider joining my bug army via Patreon, and also don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Parler, BitChute and Twitch. And a salute to my bug army generals Sam M, Sweet Nanak, Pete Walker and Craig Harrison. Thank you everyone for supporting me. Novabug, out.